Welcome back to Webz Insider, guys. We decided to do a special segment towards the end of the year, towards the end of 2022. With me is Ramel. Ramel is from Global Surveyz. And this segment, we decided to really get a better understanding of risk management companies, of the updated and changes in regulations, and really understand what is necessary towards the end of the year and expectations for next year. One of the things that we've been hearing a lot from our clients is that there is, a large growth and people are really looking and to get a better understanding of, changes and updated in regulations. And so we wanted to really do a survey around all those risk management companies to get a better understanding. So for that, Ramel from Global Surveyz, excellent survey company, has come in to work with us. We've been working now for a while around really getting a better understanding around these to understand the risk management needs and changes towards the end of the year, and to really get a better understanding towards what next year is going to look like. So with that, we will get started. So to get started, risk management and regulations is really a growing market. And yet, as it grows, there is only too little information. So this makes it kind of difficult to understand where you even begin doing a survey to understand this kind of information. So Ramel, can you share with us a little bit about how you ran this survey?
Yeah, so what we did is we approached senior marketers. So we approached senior managers, and this is a very busy software industry, so it's always a challenge to get to those people, especially in such a growing market. The way we got to those people is by working with a top-tier research panel that had access to those opted-in people who are willing to respond to a survey. With that research panel, we were able to invite those users to participate in our survey. We surveyed 120 stakeholders who are working at companies developing software in GRC, RegTech, and regulatory risk management, and regulatory intelligence. The survey is based on responses from directors, VPs, C-level roles in product from the US, and from company sizes of more than 100 employees. Their responses were recruited through a global B2B research panel. They were invited through an email to complete the survey, and we collected the respondents during March to April of 2022. The time they spent on the survey was a little bit over 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 42 seconds to be accurate. And the answers to the majority of the non-numerical questions were randomized in order to prevent order bias in the responses.
Great. So now that we have a better understanding of how the survey was really played out, I want to touch a little bit some of the results that were found. One of them to me that was like really most shocking is that on the survey we found that over 50% of companies are currently collecting the regulations manually within the company, and that's, I don't know, really surprising. Do you have anything that you think might explain why so many of these companies are collecting so manually?
Yes, we didn't ask the risk vendors directly why so many of them are currently collecting data manually, but we did ask another related question, which I think answers your question. We asked them whether those companies are planning to replace their current vendor for collecting regulatory information. What we saw is that 76% of companies plan to replace their vendors. So while this is an idea for a follow-up question for the next survey, for now, we can discuss the cause and effect between these two questions. Mostly try to understand why so many companies are so dissatisfied with their current risk vendor.
Wow, so 76% are going to be looking for new vendors. Going back to the finding themselves of, the fact that over 50% of companies are currently collecting their regulations manually. Is this something that we're going to see also in 2023?
No. While the use of manual tracking is expected to grow to 51% in 2022, this number will substantially decrease in 2023. Based on the results we saw previously, it would seem that some risk vendors are going to have to step up their game for 2023, providing updated regulation. This can project to seeing 68% of companies using risk vendors and only 32% will continue to collect manually, probably with the help of third parties.
So based on the results that we've seen so far, do you expect there to be a change in regulations coming, 2023, or perhaps an increase in regulations as well?
We are living in time of high governance and governmental control, where all industries need to be prepared for tighter compliance regulations moving forward. The survey indicates that 58% of vendors view tracking changes regulations as a high priority, and 63% of companies expect the volume of regulatory information published by regulators to increase or remain similar. This fact checks with our earlier findings of an increased budget for 2023, as well as the hunt to change vendors.
So Ramel, at Global Surveyz, you run many, many different surveys. So we were kind of hoping to get your insight. One of the results that we found was that 86% of risk management vendors have increased their budget in 2022. Yet still companies are struggling to find the right solution. This is with so many of them looking for new vendors. So what can they learn from this survey?
The results highlight data processes on the cusp of change. Risk management and RegTech companies are ready to switch vendors to improve the way they track regulatory data, looking for better support with elements it's time to value and the quality of their data. But with budget, high, and knowledge of adequate solutions still in its infancy, education will be paramount to allow companies to move the needle on regulatory risk.
Yeah, so it really seems that education here really is maybe the key to, the increase and growing of risk management companies following into 2023. I think the survey is a great place to start learning, seeing results around risk management companies, what the companies have been using in 2022, and what we can hope to look for towards in 2023. Thank you, Ramel.
Thank you very much, Baruch.